Hi, welcome along to my little video log, and I'm going to talk today about the 5 pillars of engaging leadership. Um, we always hear about great leaders. I talk a lot about great leadership and great leaders when I'm delivering training and when I'm out working with clients and measuring engagement, etc. It's something that we come across all the time, and we're all quite familiar with it. And we talk about great leaders, about them involving people, that they set achievable goals, to give feedback, they do all those great things that we talk about. But is that enough? Is that what we call engaging leadership? And I sometimes feel that what we focus on when we talk about great leaders and great leadership are some of the actions that they take. And we lose focus sometimes on what is more to do with their attitudes, with their behaviour, what's behind those actions and behaviours. So that's where I've drawn up the 5 pillars of engaging leadership. And with those 5 pillars, what I really want to look at is the attitude behind the action. All those actions are great, giving people feedback, person-centric approaches like that is brilliant. Those actions that show that the leader is thinking about the people. But sometimes those actions are delivered without the right principle, the right attitude behind them. So whenever I go out to work with clients and I measure their employee engagement in the organisation, and as part of that package, I'd always believe that it's not just good enough for me to provide a survey, for me to provide just here's the pointers as to where things are going wrong. So what I deliver is that survey and all those indications of what's going wrong, what's going right, what they're doing well, where they could polish up. But I also believe in giving each leader feedback, personalised feedback based on the engagement trends in their team, and that comes as part of that package. That's not an add-on. That's my obligation. That's my belief in my understand of my role to help a client. And I base that feedback on the 5 pillars of engaging leadership. And beyond that, my obligation also extends to, if I'm giving somebody feedback, will then also need to give them the tools to take action on that feedback. So again, as part of the deal, not an add-on, definitely not an add-on, I also provide access to leadership development. It's all online, but it's mapped into these 5 pillars of engaging leadership. Okay, so what's the first pillar? The first pillar is intention. You'll know when I say about attitude and everything else, intention. Intention is so important. What does that person intend by the action? We've all worked with managers where the action itself was okay, but you could tell there's something wrong, there's something missing, there's no congruence between what the manager was doing and what he or she obviously intended. So the intention to be looking out for the person, the intention to develop and grow that employee is important. The second pillar is trust and respect. Trust and respect starts with the line manager, not with the employee. It's not something there to be won. I always find when somebody says my trust is there to be won, my respect is there to be won, that's a moving goalpost. I think you have to give it first. So the engaging leader gives that trust, gives that respect to start with, and lets the employee feel the value of it. They can only feel that value when they have it. They can't value it when they don't have it, because they don't know what it feels like. So they give it out first and deal with that afterwards. The engaging leadership also knows that a good team is based on genuine caring relationships. If you want to engage people in the work, build those genuine caring relationships. That's important. So that's where the engaging leader will focus his or her attention, is making sure there's a good relationship based on I care for you, I want you to do well, I want you to grow, I want you to develop, and I want you to be the best that you can be. And that relationship is all around that. Person-centric leadership is pillar 4. Again, everything that the leader does is focused on the person. It's focused on leading that person to be the best they can be, to be the best employee they can be, to master the skills, and to do as well as they can. And the leader is there to support and guide. And finally, emotional engagement. The engaging leader knows that we need to emotionally engage with our work. So they'll take time to help us form that emotional attachment to what we do, to help us find our ownership, our responsibility, and our individual roles within the workplace. It's not all about what the employer wants from us, but what can we do and how can we grow. So I hope you find these 5 pillars useful. Thank you for tuning in to my little video log, and doing it off the cuff here just after a day's training. So thank you very much, and all the best.